This is the YJ timer, and when it came out I was really excited because it's a lot cheaper and, in my opinion, better looking than the SpeedStacks timer, which was basically the only other stack mat timer available at the time. But then SpeedStacks was like, no, you gotta take it down, it's too similar to our product, which made me really sad. But I have one right here. What's up YouTube? And you may be wondering where I got this from because it's been taken down from all the cube sites, but I actually got it from a site that you may have heard of called Lightake. And while I was there, I also picked up this. This is the Moyu Magnetic 3x3, and if you've seen my introduction video, you may know that I used to have a non-magnetic Moyu 3x3, and that was actually the first cube that I hit sub 30 with. The main that I have right now is the QiYi M, but I don't really like that and I can't set it up to my taste for some reason. So I have really high hopes for this. Before we open any of them up, let's take a look at the boxes. I don't know how well it shows up on camera, but the box is actually really nice. Much nicer than what I would expect for a $6 budget cube. The cube is risen on every side that a picture of the cube is shown, and the black cardboard itself is kind of textured. It's rough to the touch. But other than that, very nice and simplistic. I like it overall. Now onto the timer. The box is very simplistic, but I really like this slogan, "Conquer the World." But taking a look around, we can see over here, you can see part of the timer. Really not much to look at. Except this is really interesting. I don't know what it's supposed to be, the globe maybe, and some more logos on the side that I can't understand. So I'm not gonna keep you guys waiting any longer, let's open these up. So inside the box is the cube itself. We'll take a look at that after. Oh, and also there's a stand. I wasn't expecting that. Also, there's an accessories box. Let's take a look and see what's in there. Some cards. It's very nice. Some QR codes for their social media, I'm assuming. And a little pamphlet. I forgot to mention there's also a small adjustment tool included in the accessories box. Now let's see how the cube feels. It's very light, which is expected from a Moyu budget cube. The shades are nice. I like these shades. Let's do a quick checkerboard and check out the shades. Very distinctive, which helps when you're solving. It feels kind of light and airy to turn, which I kind of like actually. Doesn't feel like there's much lubrication in there. Corner cutting, as you can see, is very hard. Definitely not the best. You can see right now it's line to line. It gets stuck on reverse corner cutting. And normal corner cutting is very forceful as well. So if you have a very sloppy turning style and you rely on corner cutting a lot, this might not be the cube to get. So let's check out the timer. So what's in the box is obviously the timer itself, as well as a small pamphlet with some instructions on how the timer works. So I'm gonna give this a read and I'll come back because I have no idea how this works. So this is basically useless to me. It's all in a different language, which I can't understand. I understood a little bit. I think enough to understand the basics through the pictures. So we're just gonna dive right into it. So here's the timer itself. It's covered in a soft finish, almost how I imagine the GAN 11 Pro with the soft finish would feel. Here's the battery compartment. It takes 2 AAA batteries, which I have right here. Alright, so now I'm gonna switch to an overhead view and I'll be right back. So I'm back and I've played with this a little while and I can't figure out what these buttons are really supposed to do. Actually, I figured it out, and you may have noticed I have a band-aid, and that's because I'm filming this a while after I filmed the rest of the video. So let's say I do a solve, I pause it, and that's a good time, so I want to save it, right? So I press this middle button, which brings it into a separate mode, where it's flickering between 0 and the time I just had, and it says time 1, 2, or 3 on the bottom right over here, right? So if I want to save it, I just hold this middle button, the save button, for a few seconds until it stops flickering, like that, and now it's saved. So now I can hit this reset button to go back to the standard mode, and I can hit it once again to 0 it, and I can continue with another solve. So let's say I pause that, and that one's also pretty good. I want to save it. So once again, I press this middle button and it brings me to the save mode. But if you can see, it's flickering between the previous time that I just saved and the time that I just got now, right? But I don't want to overwrite the time I saved just a few seconds ago, right? So I press this, and as you can see, once I press this, time 1 will change into time 2, right? So now, as you can see, it's flickering between 0, because there's nothing saved there, and 2.5 seconds, which I just got. So once again, I'll hold this for a few seconds until it stops flickering, and that time is now saved. So again, I'll press reset to go back to standard mode, and reset once again to actually reset it. So now let's say I forgot what I saved, I just want to look at my times. So I go back, press the save button, right? You can see the first time I saved is right over here, and the second time I saved, you hit this button and it goes over to time 2. The second time I saved is right over here as well. So let's say I do a third solve, right? I want to save that one as well. So once again, I press here, not on time 1, I don't want to save it on time 2, I want to save it on time 3, hold this for a few seconds, there. It is now saved on time 3, right? Now I do a fourth solve, that's way better, right? I also want to save that, but there's only 3 time tracks that I can save, right? So I'm just going to find the worst one of these, which is this one, right? So I want to overwrite this one. And it's the same process, I just hold this for a few seconds, and now it's been overwritten, right? So you can see that's the second time I have saved, the third time I have saved, and the first time I have saved. So that's how you would overwrite a saved time, but the only way that I know how to delete a saved time is to turn it off, remove a battery, turn it back on, and now if we go to see the save times, you can see we don't have any. Alright, now back to the video. But I know that this is the on button, and this is the reset button, and this is the port to plug into a display timer or CS timer if you want. There are the knobs down here which go on the large size mats, and I know that with the SpeedStacks timers, there's a problem that the reset button is over here, so you can accidentally hit it if you put your hands, I guess, in a weird position. Also, when you start the timer, as I'll show you in a second, the red light appears over here, and then once the green light appears over here, I don't know how well it will show up on camera, but that's when you're ready to grab your cube and let go of the timer, and it will time for you. I believe this is to save your best time, but as I mentioned, I haven't really figured out how to use it. So now I'm just gonna do a quick average of 5 with this Moyu 3x3 magnetic. If you don't want to stick around for that, that's fine. Just skip to this point in the video for my final conclusions. Without further ado, let's get started. Forgot to turn it on. Power button is right over here. First solve I filmed in a while, so I was a little bit nervous. So I'm just gonna press the reset button over here. Should be good to go. $22.5, that's pretty good for me actually. So again, reset is on the bottom over here. That was the third solve. Reset. Wow, I'm actually doing pretty good today. That was a good solve too. And I believe this is the fifth one. Reset. Wow. Okay. So one thing that I thought the timer would do is I thought it would show me an average of 5, but I guess it doesn't, but that's fine. So in conclusion, if you're looking for a cheap alternative to a SpeedStacks G4 timer, I think this is the way to go. Now this is still available on Lightake, but given the claim that SpeedStacks has made against this, it's up to you where your morals lie, but I will still give you a link in the description below. Now as for the cube itself, this will definitely become my new main. As you saw, I kept surprising myself with the times I got on the solves, and I think it was largely due to the light, airy feel of the cube. That's something that I like a lot. So anyways, if you're still here, thank you so much for watching to the end, and remember, just keep on rolling.